Meet the Allain family. They have very busy lives because they are part of the 13.3 million Canadians that volunteer.
My name is Deanna Allain.
Daniel Allain.
Rose Allain.
Joe Allain.
And I volunteer by dog walking and by volunteering with Autism Dog Services.
I volunteer at the Good Shepherd Center.
I'm a volunteer at St. Michaels School.
And I have been a member of St. Patrick's folk group for 42 years.
The entire family take their social responsibility very seriously.
I believe our social responsibility should be about enhancing the lives of others and treating others with respect.
I think it's really important that we give as much as we can. Some people are intimidated that they can't put hours in every week, and so they do nothing. I think it's important that we all do what we can, and if we did that, I think it would make a really big difference.
My parents told me that we have talents in our world and God tells us to use them. And I think that volunteering in our family is our talent, and it's a great way to help our world.
New Testament professor Dr. Craig Evans agrees that the fundamental responsibility in our calling to be holy is to love your neighbor as yourself.
And if you practice that, then social responsibility in all of its facets, all of its dimensions, social responsibility then becomes a reality.
The Bible is very interesting.
Dr. John Stackhouse, professor at Regent College, feels our duty is not just to be socially responsible, but responsible in everything.
Genesis 1, God puts us in charge of the whole world. Not part of the world, not the world to come, the whole world. And since God has put us in charge of the whole world, yes, we're responsible for politics, and we're responsible for art, and we're responsible for sport, and we're responsible for kids, and we're responsible for old people, and we're responsible for Christians, and we're responsible for non-Christians. Like, there's no part of the world that God says, you know, leave that for the non-Christians to look after. Or, me and the angels, we'll just look after that. Or, just leave that alone, it'll just be fine by itself. Like, there is no part of the world like that. We're responsible for everything.
For Daniel and Deanna, this path is personal, not one their parents have chosen for them.
This was actually my decision, and they support my decision to do this.
And their motivations are simple. As a family, they have learned to be other-centered.
I've been blessed with so many great things in my life, like a great family and great friends, and it's just a great way to give back to the less fortunate people who don't have a lot.
Well, I have a passion with dogs, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. So when I have the opportunity to help others while I'm training dogs, then I take it.
I think because I started so young in the church, I believe it's the church that nurtured me and developed me to want to give. So I'm thankful for getting into the music ministry here at St. Patrick's Church because it's enhanced my life immensely with a wonderful family, and they happen to be following in, let's say, mine and my wife's footsteps with respect to volunteerism.
Well, I think it's twofold. I think as an individual, we've each been given a set of talents by God, and it's very, very important that we put that to use to the benefit of other people. And as a parent, I believe that children learn what they live, so it's very important that we as parents provide them with an example to see and that they can follow along with.
Faith plays a strong role in their decision to spend their extra waking hours volunteering.
Faith helps us in many ways, and it helps us get through a lot of things.
Well, sometimes you need to focus on like what God would want you to do, and then you focus on how you can try and follow in what He wants. And then when I realized that volunteering could help follow in His footsteps, then you usually choose to try and do that.
Sometimes it's writing a check or paying taxes, and other times it's just getting right down into it and getting dirty and helping people out. And that's a very important, I think, testimony and witness to what Christian faith is all about.
Dr. Evans explains that when we give, it should come from the heart in a cheerful and caring way.
Jesus talks about hypocrisy in the Sermon on the Mount. He talks about people who, for a show, make a donation, but their heart's not in it. They're just hoping that people notice and compliment them. And of course, Jesus's view on that is, you know, you're wasting your time. If all you're doing is to win the praise of your neighbors or your associates, there's no reward. It should come from the heart, it should be sincere, and it should be done with real caring and real meaning.
To watch their children truly care for others makes Rose and Joe very proud parents.
We've been able to raise children that are polite and that are socially aware, and they actually want to try to make a difference in this world no matter how small it is, and we do everything that we can, as busy as it makes us, to make that happen.
I love my family dearly. I'm so appreciative that I happen to be their father, and also with my wonderful wife, and I'm glad that we both share the same sentiments with respect to volunteerism, giving, and it's not like we ever had to lecture our children. It almost seems as though they inherited the genes of volunteerism.
Dr. Craig Evans says there are no limits to spiritual generosity.
But I think in spirit, in the heart, there are no limits, just any more than there's a limit to love. And so we are generous people and caring and loving people. That's what the Christian faith is all about. There's no limit to God's love and willingness to forgive. So there are a lot of things where we can show a generosity of spirit, a generosity that has no limits.
Dr. John Stackhouse says there can be some limits.
There are some Christians, I know them, you probably know them, who are so concerned about a sector of need that they are pouring themselves into it, not just extravagantly, but maybe extremely. They are in fact neglecting other parts of their lives. They may be neglecting their spouse or their kids. They may be neglecting their own physical and emotional well-being. So that what's happening is a kind of unhealthy reinforcement of a genuinely good spiritual and human concern with psychological difficulties, and they're reinforcing each other in a very unhelpful confirmation pattern.
The Allain family have personally experienced some challenges with their volunteering.
Just massive busyness, huge demands on organization, and I have to be honest, at times we seem to be putting everybody else before our little nucleus as a family, so that's definitely the biggest challenge.
And especially now that my kids are getting older and they're volunteering, and then my wife and I know that we are getting heavily involved in their activities, and it takes its toll with respect to everything takes time, and we're going in multiple directions. So yeah, sometimes there are scheduling conflicts.
Sit.
They noticed these conflicts and tackled them head on.
I think it was just noticing that there were never 4 people in our house at the same time, and that we were running around and we were kind of losing focus on, because that is really what is very, very important. So we tried to make some baby steps to, and the biggest thing that we're doing, and you hear it many times on TV, is the family dinner. And as often as we can, we try to gather at the table, and it's amazing, even taking that 15 minutes, half an hour, just talking about each other's day, the challenges, and how we can each help each other with it, makes such a big, big difference. No cell phones, no, we actually don't even answer our phone when we do that, just basically, and if the TV's on, it's playing music just for us to enjoy that way. It's amazing when you just all stop, even for a few minutes, and just talk to each other about each other, and it just makes a really, really big difference. I look forward to the number of days a week, which we never know how many they are, that we're able to do that.
Dr. Stackhouse says that we should remember that the world is a very big place, and that we can only do something about a very small part of it, and that we should not feel guilty about that.
I can't fly down to Haiti to help there, but my cousin does, so I give him money, and I pray for him. Sometimes all I can do is give money. Sometimes all I can do is pray. Sometimes, in fact, with most things, all I can do is nothing at all. Because most of the good stuff that's going on in the world right now, I don't have any contact with at all. But that's okay, because I'm just little me. And what I'm called upon to be is the most fruitful little me that I can be. And I find that pretty much takes up all my waking hours.
The Allains understand this, but they keep on giving.
Is it tiring? No, because everybody still has this positive focus out of all these decades to keep volunteering.
Sometimes, but then when I realize like how great it actually turns into, then I just want to keep on continuing.
I don't get tired of doing all those activities. I'm a very outgoing person, and I love to do things in school and outside of school. So any chance I get, I'll take it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Joe encourages others to take their responsibility seriously. Get out there and give what they can, when they can, as part of fulfilling our duty to be holy.
I encourage other families, other individuals to take advantage of volunteering themselves of their time. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. It's just a matter of how you would like to apply yourself. Every little bit helps.
Dr. Stackhouse agrees.
I think we need to wake up out of our mostly middle-class somnolence and realize that there's a war on. I mean, there's serious stuff happening in our small towns and our big cities that needs Christians to be really serious every day about trying to make every day count.
There's probably many more people in need today than there ever was before, and I think people need to gracefully and graciously accept that, and there is a great need for volunteerism.
In Hamilton, Ontario, Mindy Tweedle, 100 Huntley Street.
Sing on.